Hi, my name is Kelechi Igwe, and my research focuses on closing the water budget gap. In this study, I've used satellite-based data sets to quantify irrigation water use from irrigated areas across the Western United States. In the Western United States, one-third of cultivated lands rely on fresh water for production. Across the western regions of the United States, such as Kansas, the primary source for this fresh water for production is the groundwater reserve. However, studies show that these groundwater reserves are declining at a rate faster than their recharge. Without intervention efforts, it's projected that by the year 2050, 70% of these resources would be exhausted. So in order for us to implement intervention efforts to reduce this groundwater decline, it's necessary to account for how much water is being used from irrigated areas each year. So currently, the traditional methods that's used to account for water use is through the use of metering devices, through national surveys, and through reports that farmers fill in at the end of each season. However, this method is cost and labor intensive as well as prone to errors. But with remote sensing technology, we are able to develop a framework that can estimate how much water is being used from irrigated areas more accurately and more readily. So that's what my research is about. My objective is to predict annual irrigation water withdrawals across Kansas using a machine learning model. So this machine learning model is integrated with these remotely sensed satellite data sets. We also evaluated the performance of the model with observed irrigation water withdrawals from the Water Information Management System, the WIMAS. So if you look at the map on the left here, it shows irrigated areas across Kansas from the year 2012 to 2017. So areas of high irrigation water use are in the western region, which are areas also prone to high groundwater depletion. So the data sets I used to predict irrigation water use were the evapotranspiration, which is basically how much water crops use, the soil moisture data sets, which were extracted from the soil moisture active passive radiometer. These soil moisture data sets were split into surface and root zone soil moisture. Then finally, precipitation data. So together, all these variables were combined with a machine learning model to try and predict irrigation water use. So observed irrigation water use was collected from the Water Information Management System. We compared this observed with the predictions from the model to see how much our machine learning model is able to predict irrigation water use. So in the middle part here, we show the performance of our model against observed data. The model was able to explain up to 66% variability in irrigation water use. We also used the model to predict irrigation across different counties in Kansas. So we see from this map of Kansas, irrigation water use across Kansas, that the model was able to correctly predict the spatial distribution of irrigation across Kansas, as we see also in the study area map. Finally, we tried to look at the variables that were most important in predicting irrigation water use from a selection of variables. So this map on the top right shows the importance of the different variables that were used in the model. So we see from the map that the surface soil moisture data was the most important in predicting irrigation water use. We also show the correlation between each of the variables and irrigation water use. So we see also that surface soil moisture showed high correlation with irrigation water use. So in the future, we aim to use this surface soil moisture data in combination with the other data sets, including root zone soil moisture, precipitation, and actual evapotranspiration to produce continuous estimates of irrigation water use across Kansas.